Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to How to Program. Today we're going to be going over parameters. And what are parameters? Parameters are directly used with methods. Now, this is mainly talking about in high-level programming languages. You know how you have a method that would have a name similar, like we said, cook? And then you have, you'll find that in a method you'll have a parentheses in here. And then you could have a certain type of parameter. A parameter is something that you pass in to the variable there. So, for example, let's say we had a food that we wanted to pass in. So we have cook, and then we would have the food, right? So we would say chicken. So that's a parameter. We're passing chicken into the cook method so that it could do that, so that it knows that we're going to cook chicken. But so inside you need to declare it as a variable though. So what type of variable is it? So let's say it's of type meat and the name is chicken. Well, actually meat, so let's say it's a in this case it would be of type food. We're gonna say like so it's gonna be food food, because remember how I said that you have your own formatting style of your parameters? This is where you're talking about. So here's food, and in this case meat chicken would be of type of food, right? So then it would go into this guy here, and then inside we would use that food to do other things. And you'll see this a lot with, like, for example, if you see things where you do print, right? So print, and then you have the parentheses, that is also a parameter there. So you say outprint, whatever's inside these quotations is what you're printing out. And also same thing, if you see a main, and it has this, it's got parameters in it, math, or scan, f and scan.nextInt, stuff like that has a parameter. So what you want to pass in, so you say I want an int, I want to pull an int, or I want to pull a float, or this and that. Those are all parameters. So for example, let's say we had a fix car method, and then we say what kind of car do we want to fix? We want to have a type of vehicle, and it's going to be vehicle. So now we know that when you go into the fix car, you're going to tell it what vehicle you want it to fix and what those instances of that class are of that vehicle. Or you could just say, let's not be that advanced yet, because I don't get even this advanced even in my standard tutorial, programming tutorials that quick. So let's say that we're just going to do a thing where it switches variables. So here we're going to say switching, and then we're going to take in a int x and a int y. Basically what happens is it's just going to do z is equal to x, and then it's going to set y is equal to z, y is equal to x, and x is equal, and then we're going to say yeah, anyways, you get the point. So here we're tossing in two int variables here, and then so these could be of any type. You could pass in a variable, you could pass in a solid constant like a 5, you could pass in a 5, or you could pass in like a variable name identifier like t or count or something, whatever you want. You could pass in to either one of these. And you could have any type of primitive that we've gone over, or an advanced data structure like this guy. That guy's advanced data structure. So you could have, arrays, you could have a string, you could have floats, whatever you want inside. So let's say that we're passing these in and we want it to work specifically with this guy. So we would pass these two guys in because we want it to work with only these two variables. Or you could have a single variable and just have and just say like it's a double T. So we know that this T variable is a double, and we could work with that. So that's basically what a parameter is it's something that you pass around from one part of the program into a method to work with that specific type, to have access to that variable. And of course there's other ways that you could do that by using getters and setters, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But you'll see a lot of uses when you get into the programming language. But just so that you see it and you notice what we're talking about when you see that, is that this guy right here on the methods is called a parameter. And that is basically what the method takes in that it could use. So the method takes in these 2 or 3 or 1 or however many you want and works with those. And then of course you would have the identifier to the method there, and then here are the parameters. So there's the parameter. Params. And that goes in there, and then it works through its stuff with these parameters, and it outputs. It goes through and it will go to the next part. So that's all you need to know from this tutorial, is that parameters are stuff that are passed in to the method. And you could think of it similar as that cooking idea, where it's like you want to pass in what you want to cook inside the parameter so that you know what you want to cook. And the program could dynamically change with whatever variable you pass it, and be able to access that variable's data to directly influence what happens inside of that actual method. Alright, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I'd like to thank you for watching and learning about parameters here. If you have any questions, email me. If you like these videos, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, and thanks for watching.